Hey everyone, Arsenal Fan Circular. It is the Sunday show, and it's been an eventful day, right? Sunday fun day, and I talked about it on the Full Circle. I put a Full Circle video out yesterday. The ideal would be that we win, put some pressure on Manchester City, and I don't know if we exerted that pressure on City or Liverpool did it, but were beaten today by Liverpool. A tough place to go. Have to imagine if Arsenal go to Anfield, it's going to be a tough game. So Liverpool gave City a tough game, and we are top of the league, 4 points ahead. Listen, we'll take it, right? We'll take it.
Both your teams won today, right? How do you feel?
Both my teams won today, Liverpool and Arsenal. It's not a bad double, right? I'll take it, Tony.
You don't have two teams. Stop.
You're right.
I don't
The
know.
Eagles are going to win
The
tonight.
fact that you actually went along is terrible, Ray.
I have to humor Tony at certain
No, not on this one.
I have to humor him.
Gary's not having it.
Sam,
Yeah.
welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Been a while now. Glad to be back.
Klopp's false teeth. And listen, Klopp's
I thought he was going to lose them today.
antics. Klopp's antics. Yeah, we'll get into everything. I think this weekend. Gary, good to see you.
Hello, good seeing you. Yes.
Tony,
Hello.
how we doing, Tony?
I'm alive.
It's a good start, Tony.
That is
to be
actually
fair.
pretty
The basis
good
of the-
summary right there.
That's the thing.
Any
we all
day
look
Tony
for.
opens his eyes from the pillow and not from from some other place is a good day.
It's always a good day. Evening, everyone. And Matt, good to see you again, Matt.
Likewise, good to see you and the gang and everyone in the chat. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, very happy today. Obviously, see the Arsenal win ugly and obviously see Liverpool take points off City. So, yeah, we're sitting pretty at the moment. So you can't really ask much more than that. You're not going to always win every game 3 or 4-0 or 3 or 4-1, and sometimes you have to scrape by. So, yeah, I didn't actually get to watch the game today, sadly, because of obviously the blackouts in the UK. But I tried to keep up with it on Twitter. But yeah, pleased we won.
The Blackouts all the way from Leeds made it down to where you made it out to where you are too.
not power cutouts.
Gary,
That'd be unfortunate.
Gary, I told you not to mess around with that wire box.
No, thankfully not.
If Mr. Tom's team did not win today, but he's going to have an opportunity to win at Kahoot later on. So it's going to be an Arsenal Leeds Kahoot show quiz. So we'll have a little bit
Are
of
you
fun
in cahoots with Tom?
Yeah. The Arsenal hunt for Red October, Sam. It continues. We're unbeaten. Actually, we've won all of our games this month, Sam.
I tell you what, this month so far has been great. This season so far has been fantastic. It's actually now the best season Arsenal's ever had. Best start of a season ever for us. As a professional football team, so fantastic. You can't really ask for better than that. And in terms of Hunt for Red October, definitely great film. And if we're talking the Hunt for Red October, right now, Sean Connery is getting bummed by Alec Baldwin. That's what we want to see, and that's it. That's just the way it's going.
Yeah.
Sam, are you telling me we finally broke a good record under Arteta?
Yeah, and you're right. You know what, Tony? You were right, and I was there with you back when things weren't looking so good. It really wasn't looking very good. We were breaking all the wrong records for all the wrong reasons. But now things are turning around. We're starting to break some good records. And, I think overall the progress is very clear to see for all, really.
Yeah. Let's get through a few comments quick. Get caught up here. Reddy said, winning ugly, collecting 3 points with a clean sheet on the road and 4 points clear at the top. We were lucky to have that clean sheet. I'm going to say, Gary, did you feel we were lucky today against Leeds?
Yes, we were lucky on Thursday. We're lucky today.
Yeah.
You take a carbon copy of the second half, and you got it again in this one as well. They looked exactly the same. We came out, we had a lead, and it didn't look like we wanted to hold on to it. And the other team couldn't take it away from us either. So,
Try as they might. Decemble's even on board. Evening panel and chat room. An ugly win combined with a City loss is indeed pretty. And we'll take it.
Absolutely.
The important thing, Matt, was 3 points, right? for Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%. You can't go through an entire season, winning pretty all the time. Sometimes, the sign of a really good team is to be able to dig out a result and grind out a result, sometimes when the runner plays against you, so if we can do that, that says good things about this team, I think. And, no doubt there'll be comments from Arteta in the changing room afterwards saying, look, this is what we have to improve for next game. But, credit to us, we got all 3 points, and that's what you gotta focus on, I suppose.
Reddy said, Gary, I predicted a 1-0 win on the trip on Monday. Yeah, Tony, what do you think? An ugly win?
Yeah, I think it's an ugly win. I think there are quite a few games it's been closer than they should have been due to either finishing or just defense not doing good enough. But all that matters is 3 points. We got it. Now it's time to move on to the next game.
Yeah. Mahir, welcome in.
My hair sounds like a ghost.
We just got started.
He's been haunted.
Hey, what's good, guys? Everybody good?
Big up my here. How you doing?
Hello, sir.
I'll tell
Our
you,
fans in the building, and my guys, the rest of my guys, love you all. I'm sure you still see my. Oh, sorry. I'm sure you've seen my username. Yeah, man, we're packing up to move, and we're moving tomorrow. So, I'm dead. I watched like 10 minutes of the game.
Good luck with that, mate.
Yeah.
Mahir, I'm tired from that Arsenal game, especially in the second half. My nerves were jangling big time, and had to get through some things. But watching that Liverpool City game, the way City went 1-0 up, and then it was called back, and then Mo Salah justifying 350,000 a week, whatever it is.
400,000 a week.
400,000 a week.
Sure, I didn't know it was that much, but he spun João Cancelo like a Beyblade.
Yeah.
Oh my days, couldn't believe it. Love in the chats, guys, the Arsenal Fan Circle family. I love to you all, man. Like, if you ask me what I think of that game, based on what I've seen, I don't know. I'd like to ask you guys watched the game though. Like, were there other shots that we could have scored? Or was there other attempts on target? Or
Not really.
No.
Oh my goodness.
No. It wasn't. Is I always look at the games and go, well, damn, we've lost. We left some goals in there.
Thank you.
We didn't leave anything really on that. The chance we got probably was the best one we had, and otherwise
We had a few block shots, didn't we? We had a few block shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
But nothing where you thought we should have scored, right? Nothing. No. We didn't have those opportunities where like.
No, it wasn't clear cut.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like we had four on goal.
So to answer your question right here, we had no clear-cut chances, so we got that.
I want to do it. You can mute it.
I did. I muted it. Yeah. But Leeds had a lot of chances, but no clear-cut chances that were legal, I would say.
You mean the penalty kick wasn't clear cut?
One clear-cut chance that was legal.
No, I mean, I think Bamford had some opportunities that he should have taken and he didn't.
Yeah.
And I listened to Marsh talking about, Bamford and, is he going to play him? And he's like, well, he puts himself in situations to where he's going to score. And he did that again today. We were poor. Basically, anytime Bamford wanted to split our defenders, he did.
Yeah, too easy.
It was too easy for them to put the ball right in the middle of our defense, time and time again. And he was slow. I mean, if he gets that ball out from his feet, he has opportunities to score. And he was really, really slow, and we were lucky for it.
In what way were we poor today, guys? Because obviously I didn't actually see the game.
We should have lost 3-1.
Where were we poor?
Should have lost 3-1 easy. 3-1 easy.
And have not enough possession and didn't keep the ball enough and just gave it away a lot, or what were we?
Yeah.
Did you see the Bodo match? Second half of the Bodo match?
No.
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't see it.
well.
I was traveling for work,
All right.
so I saw the result.
They
and I
looked
saw,
they looked
the
early
goal.
similar. Early similar. We did not have possession of. We went from like 60% to probably 30% possession in the second half. We couldn't hold. We couldn't string passes together in the second half.
Yeah.
Right.
One pass and it goes right back to them. One pass and it goes back to them.
I've got to give credit to Jesse March, because the second half he changed the tactics around, and the tactics he used in the second half, we've got to be careful, because that is the tactic that it works against us.
And
So basically, what he did is they pushed with a high line. They were giving us, they were pressing us lower in the first half. They were quite high, and they were sort of changing between pressing us a little bit higher and sort of sitting back. They were changing a bit in between to try and soak up some pressure. But the second half, they decided, or Jesse decided to, they just pushed up with a high line. They pushed up. They pushed our defenders. They gave our defenders no time, and they just gambled on just using their energy on pressing us, and it worked. We couldn't keep the ball, and they kept winning the ball high up, and they played the ball directly instead of playing the ball through the middle. They played the ball in our weakness areas, which is behind our fullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So they kept playing down the left behind Ben White, and that what's his that can't remember his name now down the left wing there, but there's Aronson was doing really well.
Sinistero was
Sinistero, whatever his name is, that guy. He was also doing really well down there down the left. The direct balls were just getting in behind all the time, and it was just creating havoc for our defense. And it was just too easy just to get through that way. And they just created wave after wave after wave after attack, and they just dominated us the second half. They created, I would say 4 or 5 decent chances. They had a penalty as well that they missed. But yeah, 4 or 5 decent chances. We just didn't look with it at all. But then Arteta actually did something that worked. I don't know if he waited deliberately, but anyway, it was about 10 minutes from the end. He changed to a back 3, and he brought on Tierney, and he brought on Holding. And we went to a back 3, but it was actually with 5 when we didn't have the ball. So we shored up those wide areas. And when we shored up the wide areas and didn't push up so high, that's when we started to get a bit more control again, about 10 minutes before the end. But yeah, I mean, another day we would have lost that game easily.
Sam, so we go to a back 3 more often, because we've seen these teams do this against us for about the last 3-4 weeks.
Well, Tony, I understand why you bring up that point, and it's a very interesting point you bring up there, because defensively we do look more solid that way, but it takes away a lot of the way we play offensively. And I would rather because the way we're playing normally, right, like in the first half and in all the other games, it works, right? We're winning games, we're scoring goals, we're winning games, we're looking good. We're in control, for the majority of games. So I wouldn't change that around. I really wouldn't. But we've got to be careful that when teams are able to change that tactic around and press us like Leeds did, we have to be able to adapt to that and not let that happen so much as it did today. That's what we need to see.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like we got a plan B, but we didn't maybe utilise it soon enough.
No, we waited too long, really.
Shout out to Bargav for joining us. I hope you all are well. I am buzzing. Thank you by Kayasaka and Liverpool. Yeah, and those are the
Bargav.
2 things they assemble here. Sorry, guys, we were here early.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that we see is that with the depth that we have at fullback, nobody can get complacent there, and everybody has to be on their game. The fact that we really not rotating our center backs is what we're seeing, is what we saw today. Like, the pairing didn't work today, right? Saliba did okay, but he also ended up scoring or something like that. I forgot how that what happened there, but we just didn't look good. It'd be nice to be able to rotate those center backs, and that's at some point White's going to have to play there anyways. Be nice to have done it sooner than later. So he's still got. He figures that he's still knows how to play the
Thursday,
position.
and they don't look good either, Gary.
Not with White and Saliba.
You had Saliba and Holding.
I
When
I
you had
never said
Gabriel and
holding.
Holding.
There's a reason why I never said holding, and I'll
You said
never
we
say
needed
holding.
alternators center backs. You did that?
I never
That
said
was your
holding. I
statement.
said white.
You
For a
said our
reason.
center backs.
I never listened to the
You
words coming
said
out
our
of my
center
mouth.
backs.
I
You see,
never
Riddy?
said holding, Tony.
You
Quiet.
see, Riddy had to wait till the last 10 minutes of the last podcast, but we're getting your 10 minutes in at the start of the podcast.
Tony doesn't
This time.
listen.
Get it done. Get it done.
I listened. He said center backs.
Yeah.
Alternate
He's
center
winding.
backs.
He's
Exactly
just
what I heard.
fishing for an argument.
Holding
He's
is
fishing.
not a center
What
back.
did you hear, Ray? Did you hear we needed alternate center backs? 'Cause that's certainly what I
And
heard.
what name came up after that?
Did you say we needed alternate
You
center
didn't
backs?
answer my question.
But so what if he misspoke?
Tony.
You know what he's talking about.
Relax. Gabriel does seem extremely nervous at the moment. I thought all of our back five felt a little bit nervous at the start as well, Sam. You're exactly right. Leeds waited till the halfway line to engage us in the first half, but seemed to press us 10, 15 yards further up the field in the second half. And Jesse Marsh was switching that up on us,
Yeah.
Sam, you know.
Yeah,
Arteta wasn't prepared for that, and he should have been. Because, sorry, did I interrupt you? Was I not supposed to speak? Is there an order to the madness?
I like to hear there is no order to this madness. When we have
Anarchy and practice right
we
here.
have Gary, we have Tony. There's no order to those four.
Yeah.
No.
No. Like you said, the first half they gave us what we wanted. We weren't able to take advantage of it. The second half, they just they, like you said, they moved up. They put a little more pressure on us, and we folded essentially, and kind of just couldn't get anything out of the match. The one thing I said on the watch along is, can you please get the ball to Partey? Partey was quiet, one, because we never got him the ball, even though he was trying to get in spaces. Once he got the ball, everything calms down. We neglected to go to him when we needed to in that first 20, 30 minutes of the second half, and we paid for it with the pressure that we were under. That's why he's worth a lot of money to us, because get him the ball in that situation. That's what he does. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And he will turn up and he will split the defenders and go through the middle and open things up for us. And we went away from that, and that's what I saw today.
I will say one thing: when it comes to the Tony Don Juan man of the match, it's going to be very difficult, and we're not going to agree on this because it was a very mixed performance. I thought Partey struggled at times as well. I don't think there was any one shining light in this game for me. But let's start with the communication nightmare. Gary, you want to start off with the communication nightmare? The whole world's ready to watch Leeds versus, well, maybe not the whole world, because we have to call this out. It's disgraceful. There's no live football in England.
Yeah. All I can say, and I think Sam and some of those who were in the watch along will know, there was a timeout for banging the posts in the game for about 30 minutes. That's basically what happened. I guess the goal line technology was out. Not that it was needed today, but that seemed to be what the crux of the whole thing was. Because I thought it was the communication with the headsets, but it wasn't actually that. Because when after about 10, 15 minutes, after 69 seconds, they said, he was doing this with his ears, taking his headpiece off and all of this stuff. And you're like, what's going on? Power outage and all this stuff. Turns out from what they were testing, goal line technology wasn't working. And I guess you can't play football without goal line technology anymore.
What I heard, the VAR lost power, the little
it couldn't have been VAR because
truck or whatever they use out there.
He came out.
That's what I read, Gary.
He came out. Did you see the goal? Did you see the official? He came out banging the post, putting the ball inside across the line, and that's only for goal line technology, not for VAR.
He just fancied a little kickabout.
He did. He did. It seemed to be on the Arsenal goal. That's where it seemed to be at the point.
Bastards.
So yeah, no, that was terrible. But if that's what happened, then I guess we were sitting there thinking, at some point you're just going to have to play this match without some technology, right? We
You
can't
know
do
what
that.
happened? Right? The cleaner just removed the plug from the plug socket while she
Yes,
was
ooh, vacuuming and
What's this? Unplugged it. That's what's really happened.
That sounds like something Ray would do.
Or what was that? One of those Chevy Chase's movies, right? The Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Somebody
Oh my
somebody
God.
turned the
Yeah.
switch off somewhere. I forget the name of the family. Ray, doesn't Tierney play left centre back for Scotland? The only problem is Tierney's injury record will let us down. Yeah, we continue with Tomiyasu at left back, and that's one of our. That's we're putting our best defenders on the field. Does
Today,
anyone have an issue with Tierney playing? Not
No.
playing?
today we saw why Tomiyasu is not like when we're gonna be in possession. He's not good at that. Today he looked really. He looked like he normally does. He's not comfortable with the ball doing the things that we want to do on that side of the pitch. To me, right? Just not comfortable. He put a couple players moved towards him, and he kind of just froze there with the ball at his feet. So that's why we're luckily when we're healthy we got 4 fullbacks that can do different things. Because defensively, I think he's sound, but offensively,
Yeah, the left side is more difficult for him when he has the ball.
Yeah.
He still does a good job defensively, but yeah, it's a trade-off, isn't it? Because with Tierney, obviously he feels he's a bit vulnerable defensively. Because he likes to be further up the pitch and everything. Yeah. But yeah, no, Tomiyasu wasn't great. I don't think anybody really was great today for us, to be honest. I know my man of the match. When we talk about it, I'll tell you why. But yeah.
Yeah, hold on to that. We want to save that for a little bit later. Okay, so Leeds starting compact in their own half. That's one of the comments I have. They reduced the space for Arsenal to play in. This is our test of our passing. So we're compressed. They're compressing us, and it's a test of our passing. We didn't actually pass that test. I thought our passing was quite bad at times, and we were able to pass for sequences, but then the ball would get turned over on us, and Leeds were able to spring attacks back on us. We started off in the 6th minute. Gabriel, a sloppy pass into midfield. Leeds are forcing us to play just a second quicker, Tony. So we're being forced to play that pass just that 1 second quicker than we need to, and we're not able to play our game, as it were, Tony.
Yeah, we're just weren't with it today. Sloppy win. Hopefully start getting things better. But this is kind of expected if the games start coming every 3 or 4 days, especially when you're playing Leeds, team near the bottom of the table. It's what you have to worry about with this team if we can stay focused for all the small games. But got the 3 points, and that's all that matters.
Matt, so teams are going to come in and out of form. We've seen Arsenal. We had 3 games, Brentford, Tottenham, and Liverpool. We played really well. Is this just a case of us losing a little bit of form and not playing as well as we can, or is it more like Bodo was really bad? Apparently, I didn't even watch that one because it
was horrible. We played horrible.
You're gonna waste 90 minutes of your life there watching that one, apparently. But this seems to be a continuation more on the Bodo and less of Liverpool.
Yeah, I think I was traveling for work with the Bodo game, so I didn't manage to see that in the end, but I did see the result. And no, I think in any given season you're going to see unless you're a robot team, like a City. I mean, even they lost today. But you're going to have games where you just don't play the usual way, that you aren't yourselves. We don't forget, we didn't have Europe. We're now back in Europe. We've got more cup competitions. We're starting to see maybe players having to adjust to having kind of midweek games. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You can't expect the team to play, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 football every week on every game. It's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. So I think you're going to have little blips, but it's important that really with the blips you have, you try and get a point or 3 points where you can, even if you're not playing very well. And I think that's going to be the difference this season, hopefully, from seasons past in recent years, where, you know, these types of games last year or the year before, we would have dropped points. You know, we would have absolutely capitulated and dropped points.
Matt, is a lot of it just that we're playing 8 or 9 of the same players every match? Is that part of it, the fatigue and just...
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we are now finding that, you know, we've got our kind of starting 11. You know, he knows who he wants to play. He's not rotating a huge amount. He's doing a little bit more, and we are using subs. You know, but we could probably use them a bit earlier, or even, you know, like I say, starting games, you know, having Vieira start from the beginning, rotate our back line a little bit more. You know, there are things we could do. So it's going to be interesting as the season goes on how Arteta adapts to that, because you want this to almost be a one-off or one of 2 or 3 games, not 8 or 9 games, because we're not rotating the squad enough. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm not particularly worried by it. You're going to have a few matches here and there where you don't quite get, you know, the kind of performance you want. But I think this team is strong enough and wise enough to pick themselves up and go again. You know, and teams like Leeds can make it difficult for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Gary will know, Sam, that the home support is very fervent, very strong. We heard that come through the screen. Leeds home support making a hostile away environment for Arsenal.
Well, the road's always been a difficult ground to go to. You know, traditionally a very, you know, tough place to go and play football. You know, Leeds have always had, well, you know, relative. So yeah, it's one of those stadiums that's one of the more famous stadiums in the world, isn't it? So yeah, go in there, you are going to feel the pressure. But no, I mean, it's the guys have pretty much, you know, said all of the points and everything, and it's you know, Leeds aren't pushovers. That's what we've got to forget. You know, I mean, we've got to remember that Leeds are not a team that just lays down and dies. You know, they give you a good football game. They want to win, especially at home in front of their home fans. They will give you a good football game. They will challenge you, and they work really hard, as we saw in the second half. They absolutely busted their guts, pressing us, chasing us all over like possessed demons. You know, it makes it really hard to play football, and that's what they achieved today.
Yeah. As Reddy said, every away game in the Premier League is a challenge.
It's true.
Gary, the 11th minute, Saka goes past the fullback. Jesus has a header from the corner. 13th minute, Aronson is tracking back Martinelli. So Leeds are working hard. I thought Ødegaard at this point was bravely getting on the ball. So I got to give props to Ødegaard. A lot of people call Ødegaard out, I think, incorrectly. They don't see the work that he does on the ball or off the ball, Gary.
Yeah. I think it's hard to see it on the TV screen because you don't, unless he's got the ball at his feet, you don't know all the stuff that he's doing. So yeah, I mean, it's a similar thing to, you know, what you see from Partey. Sometimes you don't realize he's on the pitch until you see us struggling or you see him with the ball. But no, Ødegaard looked really good, and he's once again a nice little pass. We've seen that pass before, right? We saw that to Martinelli for a score, and then we saw it with Saka for a score. Similar pass, splits the defenders, and you've got an angle to put the ball in, and Saka did a really good job. When I was watching the match, I thought he crossed it. I was like, all right, he puts the cross. Wait a second, that hit the net.
I don't know if you've seen the goal, Matt. Sam probably has.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Fantastic finish. Very, very acute angle. It's absolutely hammered it as well. Yeah. So it's a fantastic finish.
Go through my notes here. I thought Arsenal now have the ability to gain foothold in games. So I thought we were getting a foothold after about 20 minutes. We've seen this from Liverpool and City sides do the same thing in tough environments. 20 minutes, Sinisterra had a shot wide. Ramsdale saved from the corner. A goal. We share goal line scrambles. Leeds have a goal line scramble. Ramsdale saves from a weak shot, and I think Jesus also had a shot just over the bar.
Was that the toe break, right? Was that the toe poke where he got down, where Ramsdale got down low quite quickly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the toe poke.
Yeah, he
A
did
lot-
well for that.
There was a lot of hands in that corner, so if a goal had gone in, VAR would have probably been called into
Yeah.
question there. 24 minutes, Arsenal being stressed by Leeds. 27-minute, Tomiyasu up against Aronson. And then 30th minute, Jesus, Erdegaard, Partey, Xhaka, Jesus. A foul for a free kick. Erdegaard's shot was saved. So I'm coming to this point just before the goal was scored. My notes actually say, can Arsenal score before halftime? Because we all remember Arsenal have not gone in at halftime without scoring so far this season in the first half.
That Erdegaard shot, I want him to put his foot through that thing.
The free kick.
Yeah. Well, I know there's one where the goalkeeper just catches it, and I'm just like, oh, come on! I know you can do better than that. It just didn't have anything on it. I don't know if he scuffed it or not, but
I think there was another
Yeah.
time, maybe I think it was in the second half, where Erdegaard refused the shot. He had an opportunity to shoot at one point, check back. But, or if you see what you don't like about Erdegaard, you're going to continue to say that you don't like Erdegaard. But if you like what you see, you're going to continue to.
I just want him to score. If he scores, he's going to open it up even more for his teammates. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, he's got a good shot on him, so that's not the problem. It's maybe the confidence to just take the shot because I want it. I mean, that's why I want more from him. So I'm just, because I think it will open up. He'll create more space for himself because then they'll hesitate and then he'll pick him apart.
So let's get into the goal. We'll start with Sam. The only clinical piece of work that Arsenal had all game, really. And, a brilliant finish from Saka, but it all started from Rodrigo, funnily enough.
Yeah, it was just the way we managed we have that weapon. We have those weapons up front now where we can be very clinical with what we do. Erdegaard is such a important addition to our team. That he has that killer pass.
Mm-hmm.
He has that, and he does it very often, as we see. And we actually he actually uses that pass quite a lot, and we missed a few of those chances. So he sets us up quite a lot with those passes splitting through the middle. But yeah, it was just a lovely move, and the way just split the ball in there, and Saka, like Gary said, he looked like when he first struck the ball, it looked like is that a shot?
Yeah.
When he first struck, it's like, is that a shot? Oh yeah, it's a shot. He just hit it really well, and that's exactly the type of thing we've been missing with Saka. He's been missing quite a few chances. We want him to hit that, on target and score a nice goal. So I just hope that is a start of something that's going to continue. He scored the last couple of games now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope that continues because he's been, earlier in the season he's been missing a lot. We need him to be a lot more clinical. But yeah, overall I thought the move was like you said, it was the only time we managed to look really clinical. I mean, we did create 2 or 3 other decent chances, like basically shots that got blocked. But yeah, I mean, Leeds made it really hard for us today, but we still had the quality to take them apart for that goal.
Yeah, Gary, that's like a training ground routine, right? You find yourself at an angle, try to lift it into the top of the net, over the goalkeeper, and Leeds fans will criticize Meslier for almost being on his knees.
He was. You know how tall he is, and you're like, and then you see the shot, and he's like you said, he's on his knees. You're like, what? He went down thinking that's where the shot was going to come, but
yeah,
that's you got to take a chance as a goalkeeper, right? If he stands up tall and he goes low, we'll be saying, well, why didn't he go low? So I think in that situation, it was just a really nice shot. It was I don't know if it was deceptive or not, but it had made him go to the ground further faster than he would have liked, and then you just see him stand up with his arms up like this as the ball just flies over him, and it's like, ooh, all right. So now, you got the ball comes out, and you've got Saka. He's able to get a head onto it, and Erdegaard does what he does right after that, and it's just it's an easy 1-2 ball play there, and we get the goal. and we stole the 3 points.
We really did steal. You thought we'd lose 3-1 on the basis of the chances, right? The Leeds had. I think probably a draw would have been a fair result. But anyway, we get 3 points. We don't need to argue
Fair
about this,
result.
right?
You know, I would have if we, no matter what the scoreline was, I would have been happy with it because we didn't play well enough to just win it outright.
If we'd
It
have
should have
lost,
been.
you would not be happy if we'd have
I
lost.
wouldn't have been happy, but it wasn't as if we came out there and our performance was good and we lost again.
Yeah.
It was
His
poor.
second favorite team would have won, so he wouldn't have been
I
that
don't have.
disappointed, right?
I don't even know what you're talking about. That doesn't even compute.
Really said the Leeds fans were booing Saka from the start. What better way than to silence them? Tony, that ball from Rodrigo was high, and I thought the fullback against Saka was playing almost getting the ball ahead of Saka for much of the first half. And here we have Saka winning that header, which is key to getting the ball to Ødegaard. And Ødegaard again playing an incisive, precise pass inside the fullback for Saka to get to, Tony.
It's kind of what we've been best at, kind of a counterattack, and Odegaard and a few other players getting those precise passes, and just when we do get the clinical finishes like that, it's what we want to be doing. Hasn't been enough for it. Last 3 or 4 games, total number of shots has kind of nosedived. We need to get back to shooting more. I don't know if Arteta's told them to shoot less or what the change has been the last 3 or 4 games, but it was a good goal. Odegaard did good.
A bloody great goal.
I kind of wonder if Saka's goal form is if he signed a deal, does it have that pressure on his mind anymore, or if that has anything to do with it?
Yeah, we'll talk about the contract stuff a little bit later. Russ wants to talk about VAR. We'll definitely talk about VAR a little bit later as well.
Do we have to?
Saka shows up in the big games, right?
Exactly.
Showed up in Liverpool,
Yep.
right? And he doesn't look back so far, right?
No.
And you know what? I think with the squad that we have, that's fine because you don't have to go, well, you know what? Everybody's having a bad day, right? In the office, and we're not doing that. So that's good. Today, this week so far, or this last week and a half, it's been Saka. So,
Yeah.
you know, we'll find, you know, hopefully Jesus wakes up because he didn't look good today, but Martinelli's always there. And Ødegaard, you know, I think he'll need to score at some point too to keep this thing even and keep people thinking about what can they stop next at Arsenal, because we've got an attack.
Yeah, we have an attack, and they can come forward at any point in time. Matt, we've had Martinelli lead the way. We've had Gabriel Jesus scoring some goals for us, and now we're in the middle of a kind of a vein of form from Saka. 2 goals last Sunday, 1 fortuitous goal against Bodo, but you know this one was a really, really good finish, Matt.
Yeah, great finish. I did see the goal on the highlights, and it looks like Leeds kind of, it's a bit of a weird ball across from Rodrigo and kind of gets snaffled by us. Ødegaard obviously gets hold of it and drives forward and splits the defence with one of his, like Sam says, his kind of trademark pass through. And Saka, like you say, you know, as Gary said about the keeper going low, you'd almost, from that angle, you would have thought that he's probably 99% likely to put a ball into the box. You know, drive it low across the face of goal. And I just wonder whether, you know, the goalkeeper's kind of thinking, right, well, I better get down for that then at my near post and try and prevent it from going across the box. But he absolutely leathered it, and it ended up going in the top corner, you know, on the other end. So, yeah, fantastic finish. Like Sam says, you hope that's the kind of something he can continue with. You know, because with our forward line, we haven't got a single striker who's going to go and score 30 goals a season. Jesus, you know, I'm hoping will score a good number this season, but we are going to need everybody to chip in and contribute. So, you know, the likes of Martinelli, Saka, you know, they're gonna be the ones that also have to chip in with, you know, and you know, it would have been Emil Smith-Rowe had he not been injured, you know, chipping in with 10 plus goals, you know, to really kind of provide the number of goals we need this season. But yeah, hopefully this is the start of a bit of form for him. and he can go and get, because I think, what did he get, 9? Was it 9 goals last year or something like that? Or did he break 10? No, was it 12? Was it 11 or 12 actually?
Saka.
Yeah, I can't
He
quite
got
remember.
12. He got 12 last
12,
season.
yeah. So, like I said, I don't think he'll quite get that this season. But if he can be there or thereabouts and get 10 plus, I think he'll be doing all right. But yeah, like I say, you just need sometimes in those games where things aren't going your way, you know, and you're not playing amazingly well. You just need one kind of lightning bolt from somebody, you know, one bit of quality from a good player, and that can be the difference on the day. So yeah, thankfully Saka pulled that out of the bag for us.
Listen, I'm not saying we're City of old. I'm not saying we're Liverpool yet, but you know, these are the type of things that Liverpool would do: have a rough game and have one shining light of quality. City definitely have done that and still can do that as well. So, if we're going to be rubbing shoulders with those two at the top, these are the kind of games we have to win. Sam, a quick word about Gabriel Jesus. Is it controversial to say concussion could maybe play a part here? He didn't play very well, right?
No, yeah. You know, I don't think he would be playing if a concussion was still an issue. I don't think they would put him on that football pitch. But having said that, I'm wondering maybe there's maybe some kind of other like niggling, like small injury or something. I don't know. Maybe he's not 100% fit with something else, because today's performance was bad. I mean, you gotta call it as it is, right? Even though
we didn't hear from him. We didn't really hear his name all game, right?
No, I mean, even though that so far this season he's been a very important player, he's been a fantastic player, but today he was just completely non-existent and sloppy. I mean, he did a couple of decent moves, but a lot of the time he was sloppy, and he just wasn't with it. And you got to wonder, is it maybe because he's nursing like an injury or something, or did he just have a bad day at the office? I'm hoping it's a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, today he was terrible. So I'll just say it straight out.
Yeah. Gary, what's your thoughts? Am I reaching too far to think, concussion? And he didn't travel to Norway, of course. But, you started today. There was rumors maybe Eddie was going to start, but we definitely didn't see Gabriel Jesus that we know that we've seen all season so far.
Yeah, like as Sam said, I doubt they're going to risk putting him in a match where if he takes another knock, he's out for a lot longer, because it only gets worse with a concussion. So it's not worth taking the risk. It's not worth taking the risk to put him out there if he's got a head issue. He probably was rusty. I suspect they played him because I think they're going to play him on Thursday. Because I think we're going to want to use him then. But no.
You think they're going to play Jesus on Thursday? Okay.
I think so.
SV game.
So I just think he looked rusty out there. Time away from he probably didn't practice as much as the other players did with the week off that he had. So he did try to come back and get involved, but he's a step slow. So I don't know. Hopefully that's just fitness and mindset or something like that. But yeah, and you know what? That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders, so some games he's gonna need us to pick him up. We did that today with the way we played and the way we scored. Anyways, I don't think about the way we played, but we were able to hold on tight and we got lucky, and we got our chances, and we made them right. We made them count. So
definitely. Yeah. Steven's here. We definitely rode our luck today. Steven's here. It was a poor match all around, and that's all I have to say, except thank God for Ramsdale. Ramsdale stepped forward, made the saves that he needed to. He even took one in the crown jewels, Tony, in the second half.
Ouch. That hurt.
I heard but he had to play a sequence of 5 or 6 seconds after that to finish up. And then feel the pain, Tony.
He's worried about ball protection.
That is for sure.
Yeah. So, Tony or Matt, anything to say about Gabriel Jesus? Maybe it's not concussion, but maybe he's carrying something. We have asked him.
It looked like he got hurt about 4 games ago or so to me. Because him and somebody else was looking around at the end of the game. Hasn't looked as good.
He does draw a lot of attention, right, Tony?
Yeah, going into the match last weekend, he had committed the most fouls and had the most fouls against at 21 committed against him and 18 fouls he's committed on other players. So he's definitely very physical, more physical than I want to see, especially with Eddie back there. We don't have a second striker, so.
I think, like you say, he gets nobbled a lot. You know, he gets a lot of attention from other players. People are biting at him all the time. You know, he's a very busy player. He works his absolute socks off. You know, he's probably one of the hardest working players in the team. You know, he's always in and about the action, and he's always drawing fouls. But I think so. He may not have just been 100%. I think even if he, like the guys have quite rightly said, you know, if there was any sign of head injury or concussion or anything like that, he wouldn't have played. I think maybe you can still feel a little bit groggy and not 100%, though you're absolutely fine, you know, and there's no issue. You might not feel 100%. And like I say, with him getting, you know, nibbled at every game, he may just have one of those games where he wasn't feeling 100%. You know, give him a few days rest or whatever, and then he's back on his feet again, and he's back to his normal ways. So hopefully next time he plays, he'll be back up to speed again.
Mm-hmm. Stephen goes on saying he's dead right here. We better be busy in January because some of these players look exhausted already, and the schedule will only get worse. Need 5 players, including the central defensive midfielder. As something Gary said on his trip show yesterday. Listen, go check out Gary's trip show, DWTT on YouTube.
Road trip show. Road trip.
Yeah, we got it.
That's something we need to address in January at least. I know we need about 5. Gary pointed out 5 players. Listen, we get 3, 2 or 3 would help immensely, I think, for the campaign.
We need to start phone calls right on the 13th when we go for the World Cup break. Have everybody lined out that we want to go get. Don't wait. Just go out there, have everybody lined up, ready to come.
Listen, as Steven says, it takes a while to recover from concussion. So let's keep an eye on Gabriel Jesus in his coming games. Hopefully he comes back to scoring goals, you know. Sam, as you mentioned rightly, big difference between Leeds first half and into the second half. We take that 1-0 into the halftime, but we didn't come out any better in the second half, right?
No, the Leeds changed completely their tactics, their approach. As I explained earlier, you know, they changed everything around. It worked spectacularly for them. Got to give Jesse Marsh credit for that. What he's doing with that team and the way he's managing tactically and to get them performing like that. Because that second half, they they were the better team in the second half. You know, by quite a large margin as well. We couldn't really get our game going. We were struggling. We were defending. We were on the back foot. But at the end of the day, you know, even though you can say we were lucky. You know, of course we were lucky. If that game had been played 10 times, we'd have probably lost it 8 times, 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, games like that need to be won. You know, you've got to grind them out. You've got to go through the frustrations. You know, the horrible, tense last 5-6 minutes there of injury time. You know, it's really, really tense and horrible. But as a team, that's what you learn from. You grow from. You get your mentality. You know, your character, and it's really important to win games like that. And title, dare we say it? You know, title-winning teams need to win ugly. You know, and today was a definite ugly win.
Yeah, if you're gonna go and win 30 games this season, which is what the standard Manchester City have set for Liverpool, Liverpool have set for Manchester City, we have to be up there winning 30 games this season. Yeah. I'm not saying we're gonna do it this season, but that's the standard they have set. And Arsenal have won titles before with high 70s and low 80s. We haven't reached 90s too many times. And that's the standard that has to be set nowadays as football has progressed in the last 15, 20 years since Arsenal have been at the top end. I think it was 2007, 2008. That's our best. This has been our best start since 2007, 2008 when we shot out of the blocks as well.
That before today, but now after today, it's the best ever. It's
those are some good records. Yes, we called out Arteta for having some horrible records where Leicester had beat us twice, Aston Villa had beat us twice, Wolves had
we had a worse start. We had a worst start to a season for what was it, like 40 years or something like that.
Yeah, but happy to report good times are ahead. As Gary said on the show yesterday, listen, you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy the trip, Gary.
If you can't enjoy this, then you're never going to enjoy anything we do, regardless who's managing, who's in the squad. We won 9 out of 10, right? Is it right?
9
Yeah,
out of
right.
10.
9 out of 10. What more do you want?
Yeah.
What more do you want?
We want the 10 out of 10, Gary. You should have won with Old Trafford.
9 out of 10 is really good, really good, and it's not even one of those things where you're supposed to win. You're supposed to do a lot of things. It never works out for you, right? You have a perfect day. You score 3 goals and you lose 4-3. That happens.
Yeah.
We are putting the pressure on other teams. They're gonna have to be perfect against us, as we saw today. If they're clinical by 50%, it's a totally different situation today. But no, we're doing what we're supposed to do, and I would like to finish off the rest of this Premier League year without a loss, and then we'll see what we do in January when we come back. But yeah, we got four more tests left before the end of the year in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I would like to see us go 4 for 4, and it can be done.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy. We have some good tests in there coming up at us. Okay, let's start the second half.
I got 6 more, Gary.
I've got 6 more.
In the year, we only have 4.
In the Premier League.
We got 2 more in December.
Not listening to the words coming out of my mouth again.
We got 4 more before the World Cup, then we play 2 more.
Can I put the banner up?
All right, the World Cup, whatever, man.
I have to put the banner up so there's undisputable evidence, right?
No, I guess so.
Tony?
I guess you're right, Tony, about the World Cup. I wasn't really thinking about the World Cup. I was thinking about up until Boxing Day. So, yeah.
All right, let me put a W in there where Leeds once was. Sorry, Mr. Tom. We are putting a W in there where Leeds once was, and we can update this thing live right now. And it looks good, right? There we go. We've now strung 5 W's, an L, and 4 W's together. That is not bad going at all. Tony said, sounds like a show, right? Tony said, PSV twice, and we do play Zurich at the end as well. We have.
I was talking about West Ham and
Boxing Day.
that we still have.
That's Boxing Day.
I know, but it's still this fucking year.
He's
getting.
Yeah, my wording was wrong. Yeah,
Tony's getting technical.
Tony's like, you got to say the right thing, or else you get his knickers in a twist.
Exactly. I'm considering anything after the World Cup is next year
exactly. I'm with you on this one, Gary.
Doesn't
often happen.
It's the second season, right? Boxing Day, if that actually happens, because I heard they might actually push that out, but yeah.
There's actually 2 games, right, before the end of the year, technically.
Tony was right, but Tony was wrong. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stephen, yes, anytime you can get one of those teams defeated, Arsenal maintain their invincibility tag for another year.
What's Sam doing here? Uh-oh.
These are the things we're proud of. Stephen is here. Did I just hear Gary saying Tony was right? Probably not, right?
Yeah, it's like a comment. It only comes around every so often. It comes and it's gone.
Harry's comment.
All right, so listen, Bamford is foul on Gabriel. Bamford stays on 99 goals. Yeah, this is right on 46 minutes. He's physical with Gabriel, and Bamford wants that 100 goal in the league, doesn't get it. That's chalked off for a foul. Using his we'll talk about that. That'll come into play a little bit later as well. Physicality of Bamford. 52 minutes. No, there's no handball on Coach in the box. I thought that would have been harsh on Leeds. 53 minutes. Ramsdale save from Bamford. So we're creaking at this point, Sam. Saliba sidestep.
Yeah.
Saliba tries to sidestep Bamford, and Bamford takes the ball forward. This is where Ramsdale takes one in the crown jewels.
Yeah. No, we were. That's when we were under severe pressure. They were getting through easily. They were creating chances, and it looked like they were going to score at any time. And yeah, it was major, squeaky bum time for us Arsenal fans watching. It really was.
Definitely.
But Ramsdale did his job. You know, Ramsdale was very good today. Key saves, but yeah, like you say, he got through there. Bamford was giving us troubles, but a lot of troubles today.
Proven a handful, definitely.
But thankfully for us, Bamford is not a prolific striker.
He's like a B-Tech Giroud. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. B-Tech Giroud, you're right.
He doesn't have a lot of pace, as I think Gary mentioned, and he's pretty good in the air. He's pretty good on the ground, but not great. But we'll score goals, but kind of B-Tech style.
Yeah.
Arteta grabs the opportunity to bring the team together and give them a pep talk. Well, it doesn't really work because we don't play any better. At least continue to push us.
Probably drawing something to them or something. Probably drawing, something. Using his hands, sign language,
Then we
He's drawing a pink elephant. Is that what he's doing, Sam?
Drawing hearts and brains, yeah.
Yeah.
But 62nd minute, Gary, that penalty ball comes off Saliba, and you kind of knew it was going to be penalty, right?
I didn't. I was hoping it wasn't because you can see right.
Right, we're all hoping it wasn't Gary, but
let me finish. Shut up! You're making me rude now. Shut up,
Tony.
No. You can see right before that. Is it Bamford or whoever that was in the middle there pushes off on him, and he kind of swings around, and that's why his hands are away from his body at that point. So it's been given before. I just think it wasn't harsh. It was just damn. That's all I can say about it. Damn,
The referee goes to the sideline.
He could have. You could have seen that given as a push off from the offensive player, and that's why he's kind of spun that way. But I'm like, well, you know what? It didn't really matter because they were looking like they were going to score anyways. The fact that that's how it turned out, it was going to turn out at that point in time. All right, well, I guess let's just get this over with and let's try to fight back because we needed a slap in the mouth anyways, right? We've been playing pretty poorly up to that point. They were threatening us the whole time. It's almost like what we saw yesterday in that team. Eventually, they're going to get theirs, right? They always do, and that's what happened in this one. We basically they had opportunities to score, and they were threatening us the whole time, and they didn't necessarily get lucky, but the call went their way, and it's up to Ramsdale at that point. Can Ramsdale make a stop? Because he picked the right corner to go for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think even if Bamford pushed that ball inside the post, it doesn't matter. I think Ramsdale gets a finger on it and pokes it away anyways, but
I think he was getting it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah. No. I think I said I was hoping it wasn't, but I wasn't going to be upset if it was given. It's like that sucked, and that's because we couldn't get the ball out of our own, a defensive third. I mean, kept going back in there over and over and over again. So guess what? It's going to happen eventually.
It's been proven time and time again. If you have possession, you're likely to force mistakes in the opposition's half, and we didn't have the majority of possession in the second half. Matt, we got lucky today. Bamford misses the penalty, and even VAR helped us with Gabriel right at the end of the game as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a let-off. I think, like you say, it was one of those that actually it was the right decision in the end. But like I say, thankfully VAR kind of helped us out with some dodgy initial refereeing, because I don't think that was. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought of that, but you could just see Gabriel's reaction to it. He's just, what the hell has happened? What? You know, and I think everyone else, you know, from an Arsenal perspective at least, was thinking exactly the same. What is that all about? You know.
Yeah.
So thank God they got the power back on and got everything sorted, and managed to turn that one around. Hi, Mr. Tom. Bad luck today.
Big up, Mr. Tom.
Mr. Tom, it's really good of you to join us. I will hand out a lot of complimentary things, but at the end of the day, you're still disappointed that you didn't get anything out of this game. I believe you should have at least got a point. Some of us believe you may have gotten 3 points from this game. And we were very, very lucky to take 3 points. But our need, not to be greedy, but our need seems to be always greater than yours. Does anyone have anything to say to Mr. Tom right now?
Yeah, no, like you said, I mean, we're lucky to get the 3 points and get out of there, you know, unscathed.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we all said it was going to be a tough match, and you know, and it was going to come down to your strikers maybe being clinical, and that didn't happen today for you, and luckily for us. So, yeah.
Well, how many times have we seen it on our own side where we've gone to teams, played really well, and just walked away without the 3 points? You know, it's so frustrating. And like you say, by the looks of things, they very much deserved at least a point today. So unfortunate for them.
Brady said it was clear offside. I don't know if it was clear offside in the build up to the Leeds penalty. In any case, Bamford pulled the shot wide, and we were quite happy to see that go wide. Ramsdale did dive to the right side, and I feel quite confident actually he would have gotten to it, as Gary said.
Yeah, he looked like he would have got there, I think, from what I've seen.
Yep. So we'll talk about all the substitutes in a minute, all the substitute stuff in a minute. But 94 minutes. Let's get to that Bamford incident. Matt, what were your thoughts on that? So the physical duel has been going on between Gabriel and Bamford for the whole half, and it comes to a crescendo toward the end of the game.
Well, I'm not sure I saw it. Which just give me a little bit more of a leading, because I'm not
So
sure.
this is the one where Bamford barges into Gabriel. He goes down to the ground, and Gabriel does kick a foot
A
out.
little bit of the kick. Was this the kick out?
Mm-hmm.
The supposed kick out? Yeah. Do you know what I thought? Like, I think that's what I was referring to before in my last comments. Actually, sorry, I think I got myself muddled up. But yeah, you just looked at it and you think, what is the ref thinking? You know, you could just see Gabriel's reaction to that, and he's just going, what is going on?
Yeah.
You know, but thankfully, like I say, it got turned around in the end, and the right decision, I think. But you know, you can imagine had the game continued without any kind of technology to go back and review and give that information, that would have been a very, very dodgy and poor decision, wouldn't it? You know, like you say, he gets barged over to the ground, and his leg kind of flies up. Is there a bit of a kick up?
A little bit.
Quite questionable, a little bit maybe.
I was with you. Yeah, I was with you, Matt. But I had it going over and over again.
Did you?
There was two.
There was a kick out.
There was a kick out. There was the first one is he kind of leaves his leg there, and then you can see his knee bend. Because I was like, I didn't see his knee bend. In real time, you really don't see it, but in the slow-mo, you see his knee bend. And that's, I mean, I don't think he hits Bamford anywhere where he acted like he got hurt, right? But he definitely kept his leg up and then like did one of those real quick.
And won't you know what? A yellow in that case, fair enough.
But it's in the box, so it's a penalty. Yeah. So that's the problem. It's like if they called anything, it was a penalty, right? So he got lucky, and I think the push from Bamford is probably in the instigator of this whole thing, and that probably nullifies anything after it in terms of whether to give a card or whatever. But he got lucky, and we've seen it before. He's frustrated, right? He's frustrated, and that's when one of those things where Arteta needs to probably sit him down, and hopefully Zinchenko's healthy, and hopefully he can play Ben White in the middle. Ben White
But we've
in the
seen
middle.
this with Gabby Gary. You looked at it last season, and there were moments where he does struggle to keep his cool a little bit.
Yeah.
He does have that little flash sometimes where a little bit of the red mist comes down. Not to a level where he's going to really lash out and actually lump somebody, but enough to make a silly decision, and cost you a yellow or a red card. Or give away a penalty or something.
He made the right play. He took the foul.
Yeah.
You're done. You took
exactly.
the foul. That's exactly what
Yeah.
you're trying to do in this situation in the
Yeah.
game. Take the
That's
foul,
it.
and
Stop.
you're done. You
Yeah.
did exactly. That's your job at that point.
Exactly.
And he took it personal. That's the only thing that made. Why would he take it personal? I don't know, but he took it personal, and left his leg in. I thought he just left his leg in there to keep himself big, so that Banford would have to try to get around. But you can see it. You can see the little movement by the leg, and he got lucky. I think it's but he did his job. But Arteta's going to have to. This is a similar thing we see from Xhaka, right? We say we know it's coming, right? We see little glimpses of it every so often. He got lucky today, and he needs
So
to.
it's becoming more than a one-off now, isn't it? You're starting to see it. Not I wouldn't say regularly, but it's almost getting that way.
This is a situation where in the All or Nothing, you take one of the coaches and bring him into that room and have a little chat and show him a little bit of footage about this. Tony, we're lucky that Gabriel does get rescinded to a yellow card. This cannot have any retrospective action now from the FA. It's done. It's over. Yellow card for Gabriel. If you hadn't had a yellow card, this could have been looked at, right?
Yeah, it could have been. But I still don't know why we had 10 minutes of extra time. Way too many.
Both games. Can I say the Liverpool game as well? Just to keep the quota of Liverpool up there. Both games hit 100 minutes today.
Yeah, lots of things happen, don't they? That's the thing now. These games, they have a lot of events going on. It takes time to figure out what's going on. They have to do VAR reviews and stuff like that. It takes a lot of time, and it adds a lot of time onto the games, and that's what's happening now. We see games are taking longer to complete. It didn't help today that Gary had to fuck around with the fuse box and fucking.
I'm sorry. I was.
You left the VPN, but it was supposed to affect the Leeds bench, not the overall game. You were there at the last home game, Gary.
I was. I didn't know. I
They
didn't
left
leave.
it there on purpose.
A little Trojan horse there. Let's slow this game up a little bit.
Welcome in Arnie and Don Juan. Don Juan says, "Come on, you Gunners, get in there. 3 points, baby. We love it. We love it. We love it." Arnie's here, and he is the new Xhaka. And I've got a word to say. I've got a good word to say about Xhaka in a moment. We left big holes between the defense and midfield, and Leeds were able to capitalize on the space. Partey was constantly getting dragged out of position, and the defense didn't look very assured. This is something we're going to have to clean up because other teams are going to look at this game and say, okay, this is how you can play against Arsenal. Tomiyasu looked lost and kept losing the ball. Saliba had the worst game in an Arsenal shirt, and Jesus didn't look himself. That's key. Jesus didn't look himself.
Well, like I said, that first comment there about Tomiyasu is why. That's why they have specific roles on this squad, because of that right there. Yeah.
I don't care if it takes 56 years. Leeds will eventually beat you after a week of me talking smack, and I'll be here for it. Mr. Tom, I said earlier, the one thing you can win today is Kahoot. If you choose to play Kahoot, it is a Leeds Arsenal flavored Kahoot. Brady said he needs to keep his head in these situations or else it will cost us. Sam, Gabriel Magalhaes, he's been making mistakes defensively, and now there's a potential crack.
That's the thing. I think ideally we should rest him now for a couple of games. I would go with Ben White and put Tomiyasu out right and putting Tierney out left. If Zinchenko's fit, then use Zinchenko. But I think we need to let Gabriel cool down now for a game or two and say, listen, we need to get you to recharge your batteries and sort of reset your motherboard and just calm down, and learn. He's going to start learning from these situations now. You just can't do what he's got to learn to control situations more, think through them more, not just react instinctively, because those instincts are getting him and us in trouble.
Yeah. And you know what? In worst case scenario, you can play Saka as a fullback. You know what I mean? Because if we're talking about depth and all of that, I just, like you said, he needs to sit for a bit, but we need Ben White to have to play a full 90 if he can at center back. So yeah, if we're talking about versatility in players, Saka can help out if need be, right? So we know that's an answer. If Ben White can play both center back and fullback, then I think Saka in a pinch can support us if we needed to at fullback. So
yeah, well, that would only be as a last resort, really, because we're definitely seeing Tierney go there, I think, if that did happen. But in terms of centre back pairing, I personally, I want Ben White to go back in there because I just think he's a lot better than what Holding is. But what we're seeing at the moment is Ben White's doing so well in his role that he's playing at the moment. And I'm thinking, whether Arteta would do something about that. But because Holding, for me, he's just not good enough. He has too many mistakes in him as well. That's the thing.
Right. One thing I want to say as well to everybody, Granit Xhaka, you got to give him huge credit because the referee went to the monitor for the Leeds penalty, but was not willing at first to go to the monitor and look at this incident with Gabriel. Ben White had the captain's band on at the time, or not Ben White, Granit Xhaka had the captain's band on at the time, and he was the one who said, "I'm going to talk to you, ref. I've got the armband.
Yeah.
I'm the captain, and you need to look at the monitor." Any comments, any thoughts on that, guys?
Well, he didn't see it, right? He had to talk to the man on the side to see if there was something there, and
how does that linesman Gary see one incident but not see the incident just before that with Bamford pushing?
Wow, I need. Well, I don't think until it went to VAR did they look at both situations, right? He saw a player go down, two coming together, right? and then he sees that leg move. If he sees the leg move at all, he may have just called it, because at real time, you really don't see it. You really don't see it at real time. I think that's the issue with VAR is they look at it in slow motion, but they never go back and look at it at the regular speed just to see, like, is it really? Did I really make a mistake here, or do I have to have like slow motion and recall in my head to go, well, was that actually movement there with the leg? You can't. I don't think you can see it in real time. So I don't know how. It's not a mistake, and we're supposed to be correcting mistakes with VAR, right? So I think his initial thought was correct, and VAR just created more of a mess.
Your thoughts on Granit Xhaka being a cleaner player this season, Gary?
Well, I think it's not necessarily that he was a dirty player. I think he was always out of position, so he was always kind of just putting himself in bad situations, and that it looked like. So I don't think he was a dirty player in that sense. I think he just was. He can't play defense, and when you can't play defense, you foul, and that's what it looks like sometimes. So, yeah. So
definitely, we can continue this conversation about Gabriel. I think he's an emotional leader, but his emotion is sometimes getting in the way of his game.
The problem with Gabriel for me is overall is it's so difficult to do something about him because he plays so well for like most of the game.
Yes,
and he just does so many. First of all, he's incredible in the air. I mean, he wins nearly every single duel in the air, which is, for us, is so important. I mean, there's a reason why crossing, when we've got Saliba, who's arguably just as good, even better in the air, when we've got Saliba and Gabriel together, there's a reason why crosses don't work with us.
Yeah.
Because those balls just don't get to where they're supposed to go because of the way these guys head the ball. And his tackling, for the most part, has been really good. His positioning, for the most part, has been really good. So you got a problem where he's doing, like, you look through a game, he's giving you 85 minutes of really good stuff, but the 5 minutes he's giving you that's not so great is actually costing us, maybe some points and stuff like that. So that's why you have to really, really look at it. I don't know what's coming in my camera now. It looks like someone jizzed all over it. But anyway,
That's what you're doing with just your face.
I don't know what's happened there. That was really weird.
So
Anyway,
I don't know what happened.
the light coming in behind your head is coming in at the wrong angle. If you want to say that.
Yeah, but
All right.
Yeah, but just let me finish. So
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's why it's so hard to do something with Gabriel, because he just gives you so much good as well, doesn't he?
All right. Yeah, definitely. We'll continue that thought, Sam. Listen,
Sam has good aim.
We got 7 people in here to play Kahoot, so let's go for it. Let's do it now, and we'll pick up this discussion right after that. It is a Leeds Arsenal Kahoot. Here we go, everyone. Best of luck.
Righty-ho.
Can Mr. Tom be sad again one more time, or will we make Mr. Tom happy? Here we go. Oh, let me put the sound up as well, right?
No.
It's too late for that. All right. Who scored Arsenal's goal in the third round FA Cup game versus Leeds in 2019-2020? Bukayo Saka, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, or Granit Xhaka? Who scored Arsenal's only goal?
And you have to put on the fucking music, Ray.
I'll turn it down just for you. Just for you, I'll turn it down.
I just guessed because I.
Nelson was the correct answer. Reece Nelson scoring that first goal.
These obscure who score goals, fucking tedious.
Oh, there's a few more of them, Sam. I'm sorry.
That's all he definitely fucking does.
Are you Conte syrup, Sam?
No.
See, Mr. Tom remembers who scored against his team and calls them to lose.
Mr. Tom would probably know about this.
We've got so many wins. I can't remember who scores.
Who scored both goals in Arsenal's home 2-1 win last season? Saka, Martinelli, and Katier Cedric. Who scored both goals in Arsenal's home 2-1 win last season? 7 correct answers for Eddie. If you picked Martinelli, it was the wrong answer. It was the home game at the Emirates. Mr. Tom is into a decent lead. Rids is chasing him. Ramiyasu third. Ellen Road Power and Conte Syrup 4th and 5th. All right, there's still 8 more to go. Who scored a historic goal in an FA Cup replay to win 1-0 versus Leeds in 2012? Was it Song? Was it Henry? Was it Fabregas? Was it Danny Ceballos? Had to be Danny, right? Thierry Henry coming back for the second time, scoring a goal and getting
of course, yeah.
that win in the replay. If you picked Thierry Henry, you were right. Okay. Rids is chasing Mr. Tom, Ellen Road Power, and Conte Syrup in a race for third place, but they can still get into the top here. They have to keep going. Okay, what year did Arsenal need 4 games to knock Leeds out of the cup? What year did Arsenal need 4 games, 3 replays? 1990, 91, 1993, 94, 1998, 99, 2019, 20. This was, I think, Anders Limpar played a huge part in this game, in this series of games. 1990, 91, we would get to the semifinal eventually, but we had to dispatch. Mr. Tom has a streak of 4 correct answers. Listen, we want to give a win to a Leeds fan, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Which former Arsenal defender became Leeds manager in 1998 till 2002? Was it Steve Bold? Was it Tony Adams? Was it Sol Campbell? Or was it David Leary? Which former Arsenal defender became Leeds manager in 1998? 6 correct answers. David.
I know this because I saw him in the crowd today.
Hey.
I called him David Dean, so I was wrong, but I
Oh,
knew his name was David. I can't remember the last name, so I just
Steve
guessed.
Denham's got to go. Thanks for being with us, Steve Denham. We always appreciate. Des the Enforcer's in here as well. Sorry I called you a walking meatloaf. Okay, he's here as well.
They're getting quite creative with the names. I love it.
I love it. A nervy game indeed, Mr. Meatloaf. All right. Which Arsenal player has not played for Leeds United? David Rocastle, Eddie Nketiah, Ian Wright, or Ben White?
I'm guessing here.
Which
I'm
one of
really
these
guessing.
players has not played for Leeds United?
I'm guessing.
I love that you're playing, Gary. 7 correct answers. Everyone got this right. Ian Wright. And Gary, I got to ask you, Ian Wright was wearing an Eagles sweater today.
Yes.
So will you become an Eagles fan, Gary?
No way. No. You know what? I think the thing burned in his skin. He's taking it off, and he has to go to the doctors right now because it's yeah. I saw it smoking.
All right, Ellen Road Power. Rids has dropped from 2nd to 4th.
He's got concussion this week, Rids.
What's
He's
wrong with
normally
Rids? Ellen Road Power is the only challenger to Mr. Tom, baby. Conte Syrup is in it as well. Rids and Ramiyasu. It's a private battle there between Riddy and Matt for 5th place. Who was Arsenal manager in the 1972 FA Cup final? Gary, you should know this one as well. Who was the Arsenal manager in the 72 FA Cup final? Terry Neal, Bertie Mee.
I know this one, I believe, because he won the double when I was born. So I'm assuming that's the same. We'll see if I was right.
I got the year wrong. Fuck, I got the year wrong. Fuck me.
Stan the man is here, and your emoji was held for review, funnily enough, Stan.
I got it right, yes.
Bertie Mee is correct.
Year wrong.
Probably you and Tom got
Why
that.
would the year cause a problem for you?
In terms of which manager I chose.
All right, look at this. Conte Syrup is right behind Mr. Tom.
That's got to be Stan, right? Stan's in the chat. Hi, Stan. That's got to be you.
Or is
Stan
it
doesn't
Sam?
like- Stan does not like losing, so 3 left. Which former Arsenal manager has also managed Leeds United? I want to speak to the manager. Wenger, Graham, Emery, or Chapman? Which former Arsenal manager has also managed Leeds? Let's let Tom win this tonight, says Reddy. He doesn't want your pity, Reddy. George Graham also managed Leeds United.
Come on, let's give Tom the title and then the.
No, Conte Syrup. Go for it. 7 in a row for Conte Syrup. Ellen Road Power is in the conversation as well. Ramiyasu has asserted his dominance over AFC Rids. Which goalkeeper has played for Arsenal and Leeds? Sam, you know this one. Which goalkeeper has played for Arsenal and Leeds? Fabianski, Lukic, Lehman, or Ramsdale?
I'm just guessing.
6 answers correct for Lukic. I was going to put David Seaman in there, but apparently David Seaman was on Leeds books very early doors. Mr. Tom is going to hold on, I think, here. Conte Syrup has the highest answer streak of 8. I think there's 2 left, right? Or 1 left to go. Here we go. Name Leeds United's home ground. Charlton Road, Howard Road, Ellen Road, or Hunter Road?
Howard. It's Howard.
It's Howard, Mr. Tom. It's Howard. It's Hunter. No, that was an easy one, right? Ellen Road. But usually when you get to the 10th question.
Unfair. Gary was just there 2 weeks ago. Unfair question.
Yeah.
Did you not know that one, Tony?
Of course I knew it, right?
Third. Conte Syrup comes second. And our friend of the show, the Leeds United fan, we love you, Mr. Tom. You get to win something today.
He's still got to win. Yeah, he's still got to win today.
Still got to win. Ramiyasu, 4th. There we go. All right. Congratulations, Mr. Tom.
Well done, guys.
I'd like
Good
to
job.
say,
Good job.
I'd like to say we all competed against Tom, but maybe we let him win, did we? I don't know.
You might have.
We might have let him win. All right, Mr. Tom is happy, and we do like to see Mr. Tom happy, don't we, Gary?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Happy
All
Tom
right.
is a. There you go.
Any other thoughts from the game, Gary? Erdegaard coming off, he looked disappointed, but at that point we needed to try something. Fabio Vieira, Teabag, as he is affectionately known.
No, it's not known by that. Stop it.
Stan,
He is on this show.
No, he's not. No. No.
We
He
have
is
nicknames
known
for
by a
players.
name on the show.
No, he's not known by it. No, he's not. I'm sorry.
It's
not his name.
Sam,
Man's got two
Right.
famous names. He's got two famous names, and you want to name him after some idiot from some TV show.
He
Fabio
looks like him.
with the
That's-
long
He
hair,
looks like him.
and Vieira, a legend. Stop it.
Sam,
And then you're gonna
Sam,
go
are
with
you
How
gonna-
totally
Teabag.
looks like
Stop it.
Teabag.
No,
Sam,
No,
are
no,
you going to
no.
call him Fabio Vieira, Sam, or are you going to call him Teabag?
Or does he look like
I'm gonna
Teabag
call
from
him
Prison
Fabio
Break?
Vieira.
Does he look like Teabag from Prison Break?
no, he doesn't.
I never watched Prison Break, to be honest.
All right. Well, we'll send you.
No, that's all right. You don't need to do that.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, but I think we needed to do something, Sam, at that point. Put Vieira on, right?
Yeah, I mean, Erdogan looked a little bit. He looked a little bit tired as well. Like he was a bit spent. So I didn't mind seeing him come off really. And Vieira, he's very good with the ball. He's going to give you more stability. He's going to be able to, hopefully keep the ball within the team. I thought, as I said, when he came on there together with Tierney and Holding, I think it stabilized the way we played a lot better. We looked a lot better than handling Leeds. Then we could soak up their pressure a lot better.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Erdogan playing with Fabio in the midweek probably might have thrown some things off because he didn't look especially good in that match either. I know it was the nervousness of playing at home or what, but he didn't look too good there either. Yes, it's the pitch and the weather and all of that, but he didn't look comfortable out there either. And I think that game just kind of dragged into this one as far as the way we played. So I hopefully that experiment of Fabio and Erdogan is just we're done with that one. Put that down. Block him. Cut off his screen. That is not the man. Stop it.
All right. We're going to get to Matt. Matt, I know it's difficult, Matt, and you didn't see the game. You might have seen the highlights. It's very difficult to pick out a player, a man in a match.
Do I not get a fucking banner now, right?
Tony's going to tell you. Tony's going to tell you anyway who the man in the match was. But who do you think, Matt, are your candidates?
For me, like I say, having not seen the game,
What the hell?
You're coming in crackly.
It's either got to be for me.
Adjust your antenna.
You're crackly.
What's that?
You're coming in crackly.
Sound like you're in a
I'm coming in
helicopter.
crackly.
This is Matt coming to you from Helicopter 1.
Oh, really? Is that any better?
How's the weather?
Wow.
How's the weather, man?
Still the same.
Or with
Check your
traffic?
connection.
Is that better?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
As you,
I will just say for me, Saka, because he scored a winning goal.
Saka. Okay. Sam, what are your thoughts?
For me, the man of the match for us, for us anyway, man of the match for Arsenal was Ramsdale.
Okay, Ramsdale. I'm going to go for Odegaard myself. I thought he really, really tried to get on the ball and do the right things.
He had a couple of shots that got blocked as well. He had a decent game, but for me, Ramsdale was just, he saved 2-3 good shots.
Definitely.
He kept us in the game for me. He was very, very key.
I'm thinking that Tony won't have a Brazil shirt, but we'll go to Gary next.
Yeah,
I don't think
like
Tony
you
will
said,
be raising a Brazil shirt.
yeah. If you're gonna go over the 90 minutes, I think it was Ramsdale. So, yeah, I mean, we were porous all over the pitch. I guess if you have a bad Jesus, it kind of trickles down to the others around him. So, but no, yeah, Ramsdale did it for me. Put a lot, as many times as they had, what looked like good attacks on us. He was there every time, at least giving them something to think about. And they thought wrong a couple of times. So, yeah.
All right, definitely okay. Odegaard for me. Matt said, I forget who you said.
I said Saka. Is that better, by the way?
Much
Yeah, that's
better,
better.
yeah.
Yep.
All right,
I think-
Odegaard and Saka. Odegaard and Saka, the two architects of the goal. Saka doesn't get the chance without Odegaard. Ramsdale at the back for the two guys beside me up top. Tony's going to maybe confirm some of what we're saying or completely go somewhere else with it.
Well, it does have something to common here. 2 guys in red are wrong. 3 guys in black are right. So, Ramsdale.
Hey, look, and listen, the Arsenal away strip is in black, and did we play in that strip today? Black,
Yeah, we played in black today.
All right, and that's a lovely strip. I love it.
It is really nice.
Tony Don Juan man in match is Ramsdale, Aaron Ramsdale, and he wants to go back to up north and play well, and to get a clean sheet there is a good thing indeed. Anyone have any other comments about the actual game itself? Before we finish on the actual game, we'll get into some other topics here. Nope.
Not
All the
really.
hold your silence, Tony. Go ahead,
Not
Tony.
really.
We can't play like that too much, Tony, and expect to get away with results, right?
Yeah. The bad part of this is like the 3rd, 4th game in a row that we haven't played very good.
What?
Shots have
Second.
shots
What
have
are you
not-
talking about?
Two.
We've been watching different games, I think.
What are you talking
Well,
about? We won the 3 games before that. We scored 3 goals, and then we beat that team. Who do we play? Bodo, and then
Bodo.
we beat Liverpool. So
Yeah.
what games before this did you think we played poor in?
It's two.
Both Bodo games in this game that
The
equals
Bodo
3
one we
games.
won 3-0,
One,
didn't
3-0.
we?
Yeah.
We could have got a lot more.
Look, Tony, you look at Liverpool, you look at City, and they will go away to Europe and they will have mixed results. Liverpool struggle to beat Ajax and Rangers in the Champions League. We're going to have to do that next year. We're not going to be brilliant every game. We can't play champagne football every game and expect to win things. And we can't do it every game. We can't play badly and have a bad performance and expect to get 3 points. So, yeah, we do want more Liverpool and less Bodo in our performances, for sure. Next topic up, right? Can we compete with City? We had Jurgen Klopp talking yesterday about Liverpool and the expenditure. Can Arsenal compete? Can Arsenal compete with City, Tony?
All depends what we do in January.
Okay.
I think you talk about it as a football club, really. I think
There's two entities right here, Sam, isn't there? There's 2 ways. Can we compete with them on the field? That's what I'm going to ask.
Well,
As a club and targeting players, we can't compete with that.
I think the answer to this question is pretty simple. I don't think any club can compete with clubs that just have bottomless pockets, like the Newcastle coming now, and it'd be interesting to see who they can attract.
Mhm.
But Manchester City, they've got bottomless pockets, right? So they can just, there's supposed to be this new rule in place where you can't spend more than 70% of your income or something like that, your operational income. So we'll see how that works out. It'll probably be a failure, just like
FFP.
financial fair play was. But I mean, the thing is, no club can compare with them and compete with them, because they can just go and buy who they want. They can have a squad of 26 world-class players. You can't compete with that. But where you can compete is on the field, in terms of if your team actually plays better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the key is. If you can create a team, because at the end of the day, football is a team game. And we've seen so many examples throughout football history where the best team wins, not just necessarily the best players on the pitch.
Yeah.
We saw it with the Galacticos era with Real Madrid. Even though they were, dominant for large parts of that period, they still lost games and lost a couple of, lost a few of their, league titles. Because even though they had all the best players you could buy, they weren't as cohesive as a unit, as a team. So that's the key thing, is you got to have a team that wins. And for me, at the moment, I think our first 11 can win just as many games as Manchester City's, or thereabout. We can compete in terms of our first 11. I'm not talking player versus player, because there's to be fair, not many of our players, if any, potentially would get into their team if you're just looking player versus player. But I'm talking about team versus team, how the team plays and the results you get. So I say, in my opinion, as a team, the first 11, Arsenal can compete in getting nearly the same amount of points as Manchester City. But if we get 2 or 3 key injuries, that's where we're going to start to fall off. That's when our performance is going to start to wade off, and we're going to not get anywhere near the points Manchester City do. And I think when we play Manchester City this season, I think we're going to see that we're a lot closer than what people think. I really do. I think we're going to give them a really good 2 games. And but to answer your question, as a club, no. On the field, yes. If we're playing with our first 11, and overall, it's about the team you've got. So if you've got a team that plays really well, you can still win. But it's very difficult. The chances are more difficult when you have to put together a team of players and you're not just selecting from the best players. It's easier if you can select the best players.
Mm-hmm. I'll go to Matt and then get around to Gary as well. So let Gary formulate everything from this conversation, so that we can differ on things. Maybe, I don't know, Gary. Matt, it's about putting 11 versus. It's always been 11 versus 11 on the field, right? Have you put?
Yeah, I think
you put together the right amount of players, the right amount of characters. Of course, Manchester City have a bottomless pit, and we have to look at not just the transfer fees, but the wages the players are going to get. Haaland is reportedly close to like 900,000, close to like $1 million a week, and it's about acquiring. Of course, City have to identify and acquire the best players, as do Arsenal. So can we compete on the field with City?
I think on the field, I think Sam's nailed it on the head, really. I think, to be honest with you, like you say, off the pitch, how can you compete with clubs that have the income of an entire continent, or of an entire nation? It's just you're not going to be able to compete with that. So, like you say, you have to look at ways as a football club that you can then try and compete in different ways. And as you say, it all comes down to results on the pitch. And having a team that gels together, works together as a unit, and can compete better on the days is ultimately what you're looking for, isn't it? Don't forget, you look at the likes of cities and these teams, a lot of this is, how you can get a team to play tactically. You can get 11 amazing players together, but if you're not able to manage them and coordinate those players tactically to play the way you need to against different opposition, etc., doesn't matter who you have on the pitch. It helps, and you can see, they're not infallible. City got beat today by a Liverpool team who are sat well below them in the table at the moment. So, these teams aren't robots. They're human beings, and they can have off days. There are ways of playing against teams like that. So that's where having a good manager who's, tactically astute, who can put a good team together and make them play, and be adaptable to different teams. That's what we're seeing this year with Arsenal. We're much better at that. So I think we can go and give them a good game. We can give them a good run. But I think, like Sam said, it's about making sure that you keep your first team fit.
Yeah.
That you don't do what we've done in previous seasons and maybe wait until the shit hits the fan, so to speak, before we start doing something about it.
Yeah.
Be proactive, which we've seen in the summer. We started to do that a lot better, but now in January, like Gary and you guys have all said, we now need to look at let's at that point add a few bodies, because we've got more competitions. We're on a roll. Let's not get to the point where we break people before we see a drop off. Let's try and keep that momentum going and actually get some quality injected into the squad so we can keep that going. Yeah. So, it's. I think we can. At the end of the season, do I think we'll win the league? No, I think it's great that we're there at the moment. Do I have much more confidence now that we can kind of finish in the second or third? Yeah. I mean, at the beginning of the season, the first few games, I thought, Fourth is still probably likely. I'm really actually starting to believe that second or third space now is ours. So yeah, I think we can to a degree.
We don't want to be Tottenham, who were top of the league in December and then fell away dramatically. We don't want to be that team. Tony, can we compete with City? It's always been 11 versus 11, and we only play City twice in the league program, right? It's about consistency against the other teams.
Yeah, like Sam said, if our first 11 stays healthy, we should be 7-8 points ahead of them going into a World Cup based on their schedule's a little tougher than ours. So with a 7-8 point lead, yeah, you should be able to compete, but still have a faith we'll go out and do as much business as needed in January.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really to be the deciding factor. Plus, the games at end of December, early January games, you're to be without the Brazilian players and most of the English players on our team. So that's a hurt us. We have Eddie and Kedia leading the line.
No.
I don't trust him to beating too many teams with him. So we'll have a rough start to the year. Hopefully, we get players in quickly.
Yeah.
Because we got we'll probably have a 7 or 8 point cushion. So
to City, or
going into the World Cup, we'll have 7 or 8 probably.
From who? City.
From City, because they got a tougher schedule than we do.
I would like to maintain this 4-point gap. I don't think we're going to stretch it to 7 or 8 points. That would be really nice.
I think we could.
Okay. Really said this World Cup might just come at the wrong time for us. I think it might come at the right time because we seem to be, we don't have options everywhere, Gary, right?
Yeah. No. I mean,
we might need that break.
I think everybody's going to get a break, so I mean, I think it'll be fine. Everybody's going to have to go through the same situation in regards to who's coming back and when. I mean, Tony made a mistake when he said that the English players will probably be playing late into the World Cup. I mean, they might not even make it out of their own group. I mean, come on,
Iran, Wales, isn't it? Iran, Wales.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose on Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. So there you go. Right.
But which of our players are going to be like? So who are going to be in the World Cup and who are going to be playing deep into the World Cup? Right. So you got maybe Gabriel and Jesus with Brazil.
Yeah.
Ramsdale,
maybe
Saka
with France.
Ben White might make the squad now.
I don't think the England guys are going to be going deep, to be honest.
They've got to get to the quarters at least.
But for us, England is only Ramsdale, who's probably not going to be playing, and Saka, right? Saka's going to be the only one playing.
Yeah.
Then everyone else, you got Xhaka for Switzerland. They're not going to really go anywhere. So who else really is going to be doing anything beyond, maybe the second round of,
Tomiyasu?
Japan? You reckon they're going to go anywhere?
I don't know the groups.
No, but I say beyond.
He said deep into the World Cup.
I'm saying like beyond the second round. I don't think we're going to see many of our players go beyond the second round.
Yeah.
And for that's actually pretty good for us because I think a lot of our players, most of our squad, are going to be resting. They're going to be getting a rest.
I think any of the players, even if it's not going deep, you're risking injury. You're risking something.
Yeah, but they'll be
you're risking injuries anyway, so that's just part of the thing. I mean, to answer that question there, if I can do that.
Can we compete, Gary?
Yeah, we showed last season that we can, right? For 45 minutes, we looked like we could do it. We had a couple of blips, and we gave it when we lost the points. We are the same. I think we're gonna have the same style of play, and we saw today that a Liverpool team hasn't been on it much this season. And I think we don't have a Salah, but we do have a better 11, I think, playing as one right now than Liverpool does. So on our day, we could look just like that and get something out of a match. I mean, they didn't really get much service to Haaland today. He got a couple of headers, clean headers, but just nothing easy for him today from what I saw in the match.
And City fans will be crying today because of that foul that came back.
Yeah. I mean, we know exactly what that feels like, and ours was a lot tamer than that. So you know what? I don't care, but
Alex,
no, but we
Good
can.
evening.
Hey there, Alex. But I think we can compete with them. The trick is we were going to keep saying, and that's the only reason why anybody outside, any of the haters have anything to say is that, well, you guys, everything's going to have to be perfect for you.
Mhm.
All right. And that's the same thing we said last December. The second half of the season, if everything goes perfect, you'll be fine. Arteta hopefully and Edu hopefully realize that wishing on a star isn't going to work. We need the depth, and we can see it right now. We should be able to handle Bodo. It doesn't matter where. We struggled in that match because we made a lot of changes, and we're gonna need some answers. It looks like Douglas Luiz is staying with his girlfriend.
Well,
So
come on. In fairness, it's Alicia, right?
That doesn't look like an option for us unless we bring her over to.
Yeah, we're going to put her on right back.
So I blame Jonas because he didn't sign Alicia as well. Obviously, Douglas is very attached to Alicia.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why he didn't want to leave, right? So,
no, but Arteta. We don't need those kind of distractions.
No, but you know what? He just gives us. He just tells us what we need, right? We need somebody in that position, and who's okay to come off the bench and who will compete for that position. So now I think we have to today we're lucky. A lot of teams are gonna be lucky in the second half of the season, and the more every time we get another 3 points, it's even better, right? We could lose both games to City and it won't matter, right? We've seen it before, so that's not really our concern. Is to make sure we win everything else, right? Mm-hmm. Win everything else. If we were to draw with City, we got a 1 point lead on them, right? So, we'll take that. We'll take that. You know what? We just saw City just win by 1, right? That's all you need is just 1 point. Liverpool. You don't need 11. You just need 1.
Liverpool. Did I hit the quota, Tony?
I don't know what your quota is. I said
you said it at 15. You said
I said it has already set at 15.
You said the over under at 15. So
that was an hour ago, right?
So do we think Jurgen Klopp was a little bit of sour grapes yesterday when he mentioned all of that Liverpool can't compete with City?
It's a bit rich coming from Klopp as well, though. I mean, okay, Liverpool don't have the same money that Manchester City does, but they go out and spend 80, 90 million on players. It's like, I mean, come on. It's like you guys have used a lot of money as well. It's just they've decided the last couple of seasons not to use much money. But before then, that squad they've built now has cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
You came from selling
how much that squad cost. It's a lot of money, that squad.
Unless
a lot of that Coutinho money.
They've gotten lazy in their recruitment and their analysis of players, and so it's easy to say, well, that's because City has tons of money. When in reality, they've shown that with some due diligence, you can go out there and get a proper squad to compete in the world of football, right? Because they did it. They did it, and it's an excuse. Definitely. But the big clubs do. The big managers will whine and cry all the time, and that's how it works.
About 2 years ago, I did a podcast with the Liverpool boys, Dave and Jack, and they were waxing lyrical about Liverpool's foot perfect recruitment. It has stopped in the last 2 years. They have lived off of those potential players that had a lot of goals in them, Mane and Salah and Jota, especially.
They really miss Mane. Mane is a big miss for them.
Big time. Yeah. They got out of their own DNA and they spent more than 50 million on Darwin and didn't spend any money on midfield.
Yeah. No, I was going to say just to thinking of Mane, and this is Mane and basically what Nunez showed today, and I kind of chatted about this in our chat group how greedy he was a couple of times in that match. They could have sealed this match today. Exactly. Liverpool, and he I don't understand why would you not pass it back to, I think it was Carvalho.
I don't think he has the vision, Gary.
The guy's 5 feet from him. He couldn't. He
No,
had
that's
to wait.
even
He had
worse.
to wait for Trent to come across from like midfield to get it all the way there, right?
Not
And then
able to-
he has Salah wide right, and he doesn't want to let the ball go. And you're like, come on.
If
You
you were
know,
Salah, you'd be absolutely tearing
Yeah.
him.
And you're
new
like,
Yeah,
one.
what are
but
you doing? You're trying to close this match
Yeah.
out, and you've got 2 opportunities to do it, and you're holding on to ball for what reason? I don't get it. If that was Mane in the box when he doesn't pass it to him,
He would have given that. Yeah.
he would have been like, "What are you doing?" You know. And I mean, I don't know why you don't. I guess that's the difference, right? You come into these squads. If they had a stronger squad, he wouldn't have done that. I have no doubt. If they were like, if Mane was playing and Nunez was up top, playing the way they were playing, he would have laid off that ball to either Salah or Mane to finish this match off, because the team's not the same team as they were in the past in the last number of years, right? In terms of the way that they operate, they're going through a transition. A lot of the old guys are not as what they used to be, but he had an opportunity to be the hero for I put the assist in that finished this thing off, right? City who kind of thing, and he didn't want to do it. He wanted to be the man, and they got the points, but somebody's got to be in his ears like, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that, because think about it, that's in the Champions League match. That's Real Madrid, and they come back and score the goal they needed to draw it, to tie the thing up, right?
Yeah,
we've seen it time and time again. So yeah.
Okay.
He
So
Sam, why does it look like you're in witness protection?
because I am.
To round out, and I think we can compete with City on the field only. City are going to go get the best players. They can pay the best money and best wages, agents' fees, fathers. They all get money at City. Arsenal have to do it in a wiser, better way. And yes, I've been looking at Liverpool over the years. This is how Liverpool have come to prominence, Tony, and they
came to prominence because they sold one player for a king's ransom.
No, they came to prominence because they used that money wisely. That's how they came to prominence.
That was the second part of it, right?
Oh, so you weren't finished. Okay. No, definitely.
I was still speaking when you got in there.
Definitely, I agree with you, Tony. Okay.
You're a little slow in the uptake, Tony. You got to get, we need more bandwidth.
Well, Tony feels Brighton and Brentford can take some points off City. I'll definitely be on whatever you're on if that happens, Tony. If we can keep that gap for 4 points to City. No, I'm not disparaging you. I just think it's going to be a big ask for Brighton and Brentford to get points off of City. Sam trying to do a reverse dungeon effect.
It's better than the other effect he did.
We'll get into predictions for PSV just before we go.
I'm not sure how you did that one, Sam.
What did you say?
Let's move on. Just move on. Just move on.
My other effect?
No. Move on.
Apparently, being too sunny can cause Liverpool to lose games. A quick word about Jurgen Klopp getting sent off today.
You know what? I don't blame him for that, because I'd be pissed. You're at home. You're up 1. Your striker gets pulled down in the corner. Nothing given.
What did he do to the linesman?
He got in his way as he was running up the pitch. He got in his face.
Yeah, shouted at him. He shouted at him something abusive.
Yeah. I think it was. I don't know how I feel about it, but Jurgen Klopp has acted this way down through the years. So
I would not behoove any manager not to, because you expect to get that call.
So if Arteta does something similar, you're going to have his back.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I just want to know for future reference when Arteta does
Put
something.
it on tape, right?
Yeah, he put on tape. Did he get baited? But did he get baited by Klopp? Yes.
Yes, he did.
Right, but this is different. A different situation there. You got the lead. We didn't have the lead in that match.
No, we did not. And I love the sense of relief from Arteta at the end of that game. It was a big 3 points, and I think he knew it with City going up against Liverpool. Did we apply some pressure on City, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does play on players' minds when they know another team is several points ahead, you have the added pressure. You have to win to keep up. So it definitely does play a role. But City, they lost today at Anfield, which is not that huge a surprise, to be honest.
Yep.
I really don't understand. So many different pundits and so many different people on YouTube have been saying they didn't see it coming. They all expected Manchester City to just crush Liverpool. And it's like, where have you been living the last 50 years? This is
Their
Liverpool.
home record. There's still Anfield is still.
It's still Anfield. It's
Yeah.
one of the most, one of the most difficult grounds to go and play at. Liverpool have been shown up lately. They want to prove a point. They, losing to Arsenal, they hated losing to Arsenal. You could just see from their own players, from their fans, they hated that. And then they went and just absolutely trounced Rangers, right? So they're starting to get a little bit of that flow going. It's like, how can you not see that, put that together with Anfield, the fans getting behind them, and you're thinking they're going to get completely, walked over by City? No, how can you say that? So, no, it wasn't surprising at all today that Liverpool beat. But Manchester City are probably going to win most of their other games, right? That's the thing, and it's a war of attrition, like it's the old World War One method. We just have to get more points than them. That's what it's about. We have to win more games, gain more points, and I think, looking now, unless something really happens with our squad, in terms of injuries, something like that, if we lose a few players or something else happens, I don't know, we lose form somehow, what happens? But if we keep up this type of form the way we're playing now, we keep that first 11 healthy, I don't, you look at the way we're playing games and winning games, I can see us beating all the other teams apart from, City. That's the thing. I can see us beating all the other teams. So
Yes.
At the moment, we're in a good place.
We are in a good place. Matt, I'm looking at Man City and thinking if Arsenal went to Liverpool, we could possibly lose that game at Anfield. So I'm going to apply the same logic moving forward where City's concerned. A tough place to go to, and we got the 4-point gap now to City.
Yeah, I think, like you say, they're all tough games in the Premier League, but like Sam said, we've got the capability, and importantly, we've now got the confidence. And I think that's a huge thing. We've now proven that we can go and beat. I mean, I think that Liverpool win was a massive monkey off our back. That's a big hoodoo gun. That's they were, and I think that that really makes a big difference to a team's confidence. If you can go and beat a Liverpool like that, you think, hang on a minute, actually, we can do this. Those little bit of nerves, or maybe giving teams a bit too much respect. That suddenly actually, we can go out and win this game. And then suddenly when you are playing a City, like Gary said earlier, we actually gave them a really good game last year.
Mm-hmm.
But that steps you up the next level. You look at the players we've got now compared to when we had what we had then, and the confidence we now have and the form we now have. You start to think, actually, do you know what? Okay, they've got Haaland, but we can give them a good game, and there is a possibility of beating them. Like Liverpool shown today, they're not unbeatable. So. I just think, like Sam says, we just have to keep playing one game at a time, war of attrition, just get 3 points,
right.
And see where that takes us. We are going to have, I think Liverpool away is going to be very difficult. I think my predictions this year, I think I predicted a draw and a loss with Liverpool. Again, Anfield away, I'd be very, very impressed if we go and get a win there. City, again, I actually think we can beat them. I think they're a team that, although offensively they score a lot of goals, actually they do concede, and they do open up if you go and attack them. So I think they're a team we can get points against, but we'd have to be very, very strong defensively.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've got a great chance.
Look. I think Pep should concentrate on Champions League. Let the league go. We can take care of that. Liverpool concentrate on top four, and maybe Man
Well, that's
United
going
get
to play to our advantage. That's going to play to our advantage, Ray. It's interesting you mentioned that because I think that's going to play to our advantage towards the end of the season. Yes, we might still we will probably have the Europa League to contend with, ourselves, but them being in the Champions League, they get Pep Guardiola. He wants that Champions League. That's the crowning glory he's missing at Manchester City.
Yeah,
he's nearly had it twice. I don't think he's gonna let it get away this time now with Haaland. If Haaland stays in form and doesn't get injured or whatever, it's their best chance of getting it. So that could play in our hands, because when he starts rotate, even though we know when they rotate, they're still good. But if you're rotating at the wrong time and all of a sudden you've got a player who's really in form, who you're taking out, someone else comes in, that plays to our advantage, right? So, I think towards the end of the season, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays in.
Yeah. So Gary, that's a good point. Let City concentrate in Champions League. We'll just keep getting 3 points, and we'll win the league by 8 or 9 points. I'll be happy.
There you go. Look, City hasn't scored in 2 matches, right? And Haaland didn't play in one.
100 minutes,
and he didn't. And he and
they haven't beaten anyone good yet, Gary.
Yeah,
they haven't beaten anyone good yet.
That is true. They have not. It's going to be. It'll be a lot of fun. I think, like you said, it's going to be if they try to get to Champions League, that could basically, that could stall some of their other ambitions for the year. So that might be good for us because we only have 2, and every time we pick up 3 points, that's another 3 points that they have to get, right? We've been pretty good at that so far, so we're going to continue to do that 6 more times for the rest of the year for Tony, but 4 more times until the World Cup. If we can get the 4 wins, and we have winnable matches coming up. None of them are. We should be. We can get wins in the 4 Premier League matches that we have left for the World Cup. So
Tony keeps you honest, Gary. You always have to have your facts straight.
Every once in a while, he gets it. He gets it right. He definitely gets it right once in a while.
You have to be precise with me.
But like I said, I think I would like. I'm hoping that we'll see if Arteta comes out pretty strong in this Thursday, so that he can get the 3 points that we need, so we can play a little differently when we play at PSV before we go to the bridge.
When you look at the table, the teams that you would think are going to be in the top 6, they're all there. Ourselves, City, that team, Chelsea are 4th, United and Newcastle drew today, so drop points is a good thing between those two. But Chelsea are a team that I think are improving now under Graham Potter. And we will have that test coming up in 3 or 4 games, but that's going to be plenty of time to talk about Chelsea away. Gary, PSV on Thursday night, really wanted us to give a quick prediction. Give predictions, and we'll get out of here, and there will be a backstage pass as well for Reddy or whoever else.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one. That's why I think we're going to have to come out strong. They are looking really confident the way they've been playing. Yes. I mean, like I said, they have a 9-goal difference in the 2 matches they played against Zurich. So 5 goals in each one of the ones they played. So I think they're going to come out ready to go, and we need to be able to keep up with them. And we might play that a little bit more defensively, which means you're going to have Tomiyasu. I don't know if he's going to be on the be able to go up against Gakpo, right? This might be a way for us to get Gakpo in January, right? If we come out and we smash him, and they go, "Damn, well, he isn't that good." Mm-hmm. maybe we can put an offer in and get him in January, right? But no, I kind of feel like I think we should try and steal one of this early one, smash them in the mouth real quick, and then let them, if they want to have the away fixture for us. But we are in control right now. I think we have 1 or 2 points ahead of them, if I recall.
Yeah, they drew with Bodo away from home. So they're on
so-
7 points. We're on 9.
So we've got 2 points ahead of them, so we can take 2 draws. But if we can get a win, I think that helps.
We get a
us out.
win, that's it. It's
Yeah.
finished. And then there's 2 games to go where we can bring in some of the younger players. I think we'll hold over the contract talks for Saka, Saliba, and Martinelli till Thursday night. But suffice to say, Saka and Martinelli, Saliba, they're looking at Arsenal as a potential place that they won't have to go anywhere. They can win things with us. Sam, what's your thoughts on that? Plus PSV on Thursday.
Yeah, I think PSV will be a tough game compared to Bordeaux. But I think it's a winnable game. Yeah, they're not at our level. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of changes Arteta makes if he rests, more than just a couple of players. Because I do think he's going to put out a strong team because he wants to beat them and win the group. I think that's the target is to win the group.
Plus, playing in Europe, our bigger players are going to want to play. That's kind of the glamour time.
Yeah, as long as we keep up what we're doing in the league, I think people, players and their managers are going to be seeing that, Arsenal, they're a whole different unit this time round, and they're heading towards the Champions League, and I think we're going to be a lot more attractive now to the big names in world football. We'd be interested to see who we attract if Arteta and Adu go for any of them. Because it's that we look at the whole picture now, right? Just not their ability, but what kind of person they are, how do they fit into the squad? So it'd be interesting to see, who we actually end up getting to strengthen our squad. Hopefully in January we'll get 1 or 2, but then next summer again, it's probably going to be when we do most of the work. But yeah, no, I mean, I think we got to have to be positive about everything that's going on at the moment.
Yeah. The only negative I think in the fan base will be Gabriel Magalhaes, and if we should continue with him or whatnot. You know what I mean? Matt, what's your thoughts? Tony, you will get your last word.
Those people are idiots, Ray.
No, I think I kind of agree with Really. I think we want to do something in the Europa League, so I think we'll want to go and show that we're taking it seriously. Like I say, we want to keep up the winning form that we're in. So I don't think we'll maybe take a step back. I think I'm probably I'm thinking about 2-0 win maybe. I think it would be a good opportunity to rotate Gabriel, so it wouldn't surprise me maybe if we do tinker around with the centre backs a little bit and maybe rest him. But yeah, I think I don't see us losing the game. I see us getting a fairly comfortable win. But yeah, I still think we'll put a fairly strong lineup out. I can't see us going second string and making 8 changes.
I think, like us, we'll want to wrap up the group by being first and missing that round of 32. PSV will be motivated to do the same thing. They're going to come wanting to win the game. It's going to be an interesting game for sure. Yeah, I think we can win the game 2-1.
Yeah, I think I missed my actual score prediction, but yeah, I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0. I think we'll have a 2-0 victory on Thursday.
Gary, you legend. Sam, you legend.
I think it's Bungle. I think it's Bungle.
Ray, you legend. Thank you. Matt and Tony to go. We'll expect the Matt and Tony legend.
As to the score,
not quite legendary status yet.
I think it will be a high scoring affair. So I'm thinking 3-2. I don't think it's gonna. We're gonna have to come out and come with our finishing boots.
And we are gonna have to play better than the last 2 games, Tony. The last 2 games. It hasn't been 4 or 5. It's been 2, but it's a trend.
I said 3 or 4.
You were wrong either way. So what do you? I didn't run the light. I just didn't stop as I went through it. I mean, you're still. You did it.
You did it.
2 Bodo games.
As Gary says, you thought about it.
Remember the Liverpool game?
You did it. You did it. You thought it. You said it. That's what Gary says. Tony, final words. Prediction. All that good stuff.
I think it'd be 2-1. You never answered me if you miss roller coasters. Isn't it nice just to be in first place and keep going, Ray?
This game was a roller coaster. If you didn't feel like we were going to lose this game or draw this game at some point, then you don't. I mean, you know, you have
Now
to
you got him
feel-
talking roller coasters.
Yeah, you have me spinning around in circles now.
Does that mean you're on
Tony,
a merry-go-round?
Tony, did you feel we would lose, draw, or win this game? All of the above, right?
I thought we'd pull it out.
A newfound confidence in Arsenal. Hallelujah.
Hey, I said we'd finish second.
Mikel
And I said we were
Arteta is
contenders
working
for
wonders on Tony.
Tony doesn't know whether he's coming or going. Let's just put
Tony,
it-
do you feel
I
more
would have been
confident?
coming or going after what you did to your camera, Sam.
It's fine now. It's all, no
I'm
worries,
trying to
you know.
get that image out of my head. Stop.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of mist. That's all. it
No,
was.
no.
Tony, do you
Never
feel
heard
more
of that.
confident in Mikel Arteta and Arsenal right now?
I feel more confident in the players we've
You
got.
have to eat some humble pie, boy. Eat some humble pie.
I feel comfortable in the players.
Want some ice cream with that pie?
You want some pecan pie with that humble pie?
00 Slice X. Tough game today, but in the end, it was 3 points for the team. I'm sorry for the so-called fans that actually wanted us to lose that game. Boo-hoo, still top of the league. And look at this is from my nephew. We're still top of the league, and 4-point gap. We're going to be there for a little bit yet.
I got some humble pie for Tony with some caramel ice cream.
The backstage pass is there. I'll drop it in again. Say good night, Tony. Thank you, Sam.
Good night, Tony.
Sam, Matt, and Gary. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Daddy.
I really
Thanks for
enjoyed this
having us,
one.
and,
As Gary said on the trip show,
We have to get what Matt had for dinner.
things are getting better for Arsenal. We're winning games. Matt, what's for dinner?
I've had it, and it was roast vegetables with gravy and like a puff pastry parcel thing. It was-
Boring.
Vegetarian.
It went. Oh, it was bloody lovely, Tony. I'll tell you that. Hey,
Vegetarian.
do you know what? I got moaned at for having pizza last week, and then it was all you got to have a roast on Sunday. So do you know what? I pulled out the stops and had a bit of a roast tonight, and I'll still get it in the neck.
Tony wants he wants a half slab of ribs or
Matt, you said
a
roast.
32-ounce steak.
You said
Oh,
roast
my God.
vegetables.
Or a porterhouse.
Matt, you said roast vegetables. Was there any meat in that?
There was in the puff pastry thing. It was like a square puff pastry thing with meat and whatever in it. So it was, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good
Whatever
stuff.
meat.
Great show. Grandma's apple pie.
Mystery meat pie.
Slap a like on the video. I think I'll drop another backstage pass if I can in here before we go.
Yeah.
Good times ahead. Arsenal win. Lucky to get the win, but if you're going to be good, I'd rather be lucky as well as good sometimes.
Nice and
That one you
smooth.
got us.
No roller
Nice.
coasters. Rick.
No roller coasters. Roller coasters will come later in the season when we're trying to balance 4 competitions. Thanks, everybody. We're out of here. Come
Maybe
on, you
just
Gunners.
3.
1-0 to Arsenal. We are still top of the league. Take that, my nephew, Zach. Still top of the league.